Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking the best point guards in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM here on a tier list. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 10,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, and I would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. So we got 24 of the best PGs in the game here. If there's any PGs I don't rank on this list that you'd like to hear my thoughts about, feel free to leave a comment. I'll let you know what I think of those cards. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's start off with Baron Davis, his first card on this list. I'm putting him C tier because he is short. I think he's one of the better short PGs in the game. He has some really good badges. He's a solid defender, Hoff Limitless takeoff. He's got some good stuff to him for sure, but his jumper is not incredible. That's probably his biggest flaw in my personal opinion. He's a good card. I just think he's a little undersized. I don't absolutely love his jumper. He's better than several of the PGs on this list, but he is still C tiered for me. Ben Simmons is a top 2 point guard in the game. I mean, if you want to think he's the best, you could. I don't personally think he is, but I think he's right up near the top regardless. Definitely an elite level card. Can't shoot the 3 at a super high level, but he's 6'10" and with the best defensive PG in the game. Obviously an insane slasher, moves pretty well, and can hit open consistently from 3. He's like Kareem at the point guard position, except more dominant in terms of his size and his slashing and things like that. So he's an incredible card, and definitely a top tier PG. Easily an S tier for me. I think Don Ol probably has to go, I think C as well. He's got good all around badges. Like when you look at this card, he is, sorry, I said Don Ol. That's Bob Sura. We'll get to Don Ol later. But Sura is like, he's 6'5", but he doesn't have a great player, but his gold badges are really good. He's got Hoff Fast, Twitch, Limitless, Takeoff, Posterizer, all the key shooting badges besides Agent 3. The playmaking badges are good. He's got gold anchor. He's a decent defender, although he has a low block rating. Decent, pretty good speed, but I don't love his release, and he has pro dribble style, which is annoying, but he is still better than several of these PGs, so I will put him in the C tier, but he's not quite good enough, in my opinion, because of the SIGs and the release being not that great to go higher than C. Chris Paul can't dunk, and he's 6 foot. I literally don't need to say another thing. His jumper's also not that great. C tier, I mean D tier, we're moving on. Damian Lillard can't play defense, his dribble style sinks, and his release is super mediocre. Same thing as Chris Paul, easily D tier. Both those cards are 2 of the worst PGs on this list. And yeah, they're easy D tiers for me. D'Angelo Russell, I think also probably goes, maybe he goes B tier. This D-Lo card really is not that bad, to be completely honest. I think he's pretty good. He's 6'5" with a 6'9" wingspan. He's got good speed, good shooting, solid dunking. Defense is okay, although he doesn't have anchor or brick wall. But he has good gold defensive badges outside of that. I guess he has bronze anchor, so that's nice, but still not that great. He doesn't have incredible size, but he's got good playmaking, shooting badges. He's a decent slasher. His release isn't incredible, but it's not bad. He is 6'5" with a decent player build. The SIGs are pretty mid, I will say that, but he's not bad. I think he's a little bit of a step above the other guys we have so far, so he's either in the B or the C tier. I'm not entirely sure. We might wind up moving him down, but for now, we'll leave him in B tier just to see. By the way, I just realized I put Tyreke Evans on this list twice, so we're just going to ignore one of those Tyrekes when we get to the end of the video. But Dennis Johnson's also going to go B, an elite defensive PG. Does not have the incredible shooting ability, but he does everything else super well, and he can hit open consistently with a good release. Just doesn't have incredible shooting badges or stats, but he's an elite defender with amazing safe dunks and really good SIGs. Moves really well, and still is a very good PG in my team. Don Ol, I think Don Ol's better than D'Angelo Russell, so I'm probably going to move D-Lo down because we're getting to more of there's a lot of better PGs toward the back end of this list, although I did include a lot of short PGs, so that's something to keep in mind. And I didn't include Luka. I should have put Luka on this list, but I forgot, although he would be pretty low as well. But Don Ol, I really like this card. For a short PG, I mean, he's got really good SIGs, he's got incredible dunking animations, a really good release, moves really well, and is a better defender than you'd think, especially since he doesn't have anchor. I prefer him over all the guys that I have under him so far, so for me, I think he's B tier. In terms of point guards, Donovan Mitchell probably goes C. I think he's on the same level as guys like D'Lo, Baron Davis, and Sura. He might be the best of this group, but he is only 6'1", even with really good badges. And his release is fine on quick, but it's not incredible. His movement's good, but not insane. He's just not really incredible in any specific area, and he's 6'1", but he is a significantly better option than the guys we have in D tier, so definitely going to include him a little bit higher up in C. D tier, in my opinion, as well as Gilbert Arenas, similar to Damian Lillard, he just doesn't move all that well. He doesn't have great size. His release is mediocre. He's just not that great of a card at this point, not an elite defender, so I think he's D tier as well. And then I'm putting Jamal Murray in D tier as well. We got a lot of D tier guys to this point, but Jamal, I know his stats and badges aren't bad, but they're not great, especially defensively, and his jumper's on slow, and it really kills the card. Like, that is a really important badge to have at least a solid level, and he really doesn't have that, which is unfortunate, I guess. I don't know. It's just he's not a good card at all. This card is he's so much worse than I thought it was going to be completely honest. So he definitely goes D tier for me. Another S tier PG is going to be Harden. I think Harden's exceptional. Like, I really do think he is really good. He moves incredibly well. Probably the most fun point guard to use in the game. Maybe the best SIGs, at least like most Harden-esque. Like, he is just such a nasty card. Elite release, really good dunks, super solid defender. Great card. Jaw's going to go the same level as Ol. I think Jaw and Ol are about the same level of card in general. Very good for small PGs, but they are still small PGs, and Jaw has Jaw dribble style, which is annoying because outside of that, his SIGs and his animations and his release are really good, but the dribble style is not incredible, which is kind of annoying, but it's not bad either, and he obviously has great stats and badges. So I think Jaw's a pretty good card, pretty electric, and I think he's a good B tier guy. Kyrie, I'm actually going to give C tier because he does move semi well. I think he's better than all the guys in D tier, but I don't think he's that great of a card, to be completely honest. Like, I think he probably is the worst card in the C tier, in all honesty. I know he's an Opal, but he's just not that great, but I'll still give him a little bit of an edge over the guys in D tier. We'll throw him up to C. I think his badge count helps with that as well. And then LaMelo's going to go B for me. I'm actually going to move Dennis Johnson up a tier because I really do think he is that good. And the point guard position, when you look at it, is not all that deep. LaMelo is on this level of these guys. He is 6'7", but he's missing a lot of key badges, which is probably his biggest flaw, to be completely honest, is the bound of badges that he's missing, because he has a really good release. There's a lot to like about the card, but I don't know. A tier, B tier is probably the fairest for LaMelo because of what his SIGs are like that he is missing. Lonzo Ball's going to go A tier for me. I think Lonzo's elite. The pink diamond Lonzo's still defensively, at least offensively, he's not great. His release is mediocre, but he is 6'6", really good defensively, solid slasher. I think he's a really good card. Pink diamond Magic, we're going to throw inside the A tier. I do have both the pink diamond and the opal because there's a pretty noticeable difference between the two, but I do think pink diamond Magic, I mean, you could definitely argue him S tier. I mean, you really could make that argument. But I think I'm going to keep the S tier pretty small in this video simply because there is kind of that extra, like there's an S tier of PGs and then there's everybody else at the point guard position. And this Magic doesn't quite crack that for me. But I think he's like 4th best point guard in the game. I really do think he's still really good. Incredible behind the back, great size, super switchable and versatile on defense. I like the card. But the S tier Magic, in my opinion, the best point guard in the game is this Magic Johnson, Opal Magic, who is absolutely incredible. Way better SIGs than the pink diamond, moves incredibly well, elite defender, elite size, super explosive. His dunk animations are disgusting, and he can shoot better than a guy like Ben as well with the normal fade as well. I mean, there's a lot to like about Magic. He can get every badge upgrade. He's a monster. Penny's going to go A as well. Fits in with all the other tall PGs. Really good all-around card. Honestly, the Amethyst would probably be A tier as well, which just goes to show how good that Amethyst card is. It's basically a clone of this pink diamond with less Hall of Fame badges, but another elite card. I think he goes A tier. Dinwiddie would be pretty high if he didn't miss handles for days. I think he'd be A tier, but because he's missing handles for days, I have to dock him at least a tier. I almost would consider docking him 2 tiers and putting him all the way down to C tier because of missing that badge, because it is really a crucial badge and he doesn't have it, which is frustrating. But outside of that, Dinwiddie is a pretty good card at PG. He's got good size. He's a great shooter with a release I like, so we'll throw him in the B tier. Our next two guys, Steph going to go D tier. We'll get to Trae Young here in just a second, but Steph's going to go D for me. He doesn't have incredible SIGs. People love Curry's animations for whatever reason, and I know they've been really good in the past, but at this point in 2K, the Curry slide really isn't like that anymore, and it's just like, meh, he's not that great, to be honest. He doesn't slash that well. He's not a good defender. He's not a good card. Now, Trae Young is terrible. He and Chris Paul are the 2 worst cards on this list. Can't dunk, short, can't defend. What's the point of this Trae Young card? The worst level 40 we've ever gotten in 2K history. Just terrible. I know we're going to have a lot of D tiers in this video, but this card sucks, like obvious D tier. And then our final guy is going to be Tyreke Evans, who's going to go A tier next to Magic and guys like that. Really good PG option. He's got good SIGs, a great release, really good badges, or not a great release, but a good release. Really good badges. He does have that. Good size at PG at 6'6" with a good player build. So I think he fits into the A tier pretty well. So I know this is a little bit more of a bottom heavy list, at least slightly. We only have 3 guys in the S tier, but I think these 3 point guards are pretty much head and shoulders above the rest at the point guard position right now. So I think it's fair to put those guys relatively significantly ahead of everybody else and in their own tier. But this is what I think the point guard position looks like right now. Like I said earlier, if there's any PGs I left off the list, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll give you all my opinion. And also, if you disagree with the tier list, let me know about that as well. I'd love to hear your opinion in the comments. Hopefully y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll be back with more 2K content very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.